We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much!
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the Academia... But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. Clearly capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, The fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kinda scary.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Take this!
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, You have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never mind.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you... Dia!
Just ask.
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village.
So, this is the great General Mahamantra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself, I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, Rama?
What's going on, Dia? What side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samia.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevada have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed King Deshret. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
Oh.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars, perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the Academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum! Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them? Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Rahman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Rahman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. The mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Rahman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
So we just gonna stand there and watch her get a hand cut off?
Stop!
Oh.
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces? You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon.
Absolute Wonder Woman was raised in a place a touch hotter than Themyscira, and you are not going to believe her origin story.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Wow.
That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
And let me tell you something. This version of Diana is the princess of hell. Literally. Wonder Woman issue 1 starts off with
Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
The book then flashes back 2 years in the past to the wild Isle of Hell, prison of the great sorceress Circe. We then see Circe.
Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
But all of a sudden, Apollo appears saying, "Come forward, witch. You may kneel." But Circe responds by saying, "I'm fine." Apollo then tells her, "Defiant even in hell. Perhaps that is what got you here." He then hands her a baby saying, "This is yours now." She holds up the baby girl and asks, "Why have you brought a baby to hell?" He tells her, "This baby is Diana, princess of Themyscira. She is the last of the Amazons, and she has been taken from them by my father Zeus as punishment for their crimes against the gods. Her home is now hell, and she may never be reunited with her Amazon sisters, and they will be imprisoned for eternity when their service to my father ends." Which seems like a bit of a contradiction, considering he started by telling her she was the last of the Amazons. So how could she be reunited with people that no longer exist? Anyway, he goes on to say, "You may never say the word Amazon again." Circe then thinks to herself, he's trying to hide it, but he's afraid of her. Why? As Apollo yells, "From here on, the word Amazon is banned, so I decree." Try it for me, Circe. Try to say the word I want to see. She then obliges and tries, but can't say it. So please, Apollo then goes to leave, but she asks, "This is hell. What if it dies?" But Apollo just responds by saying, "The gods care not. This is where she belongs now, for however long she is." So Circe just puts the baby down and doesn't care if she dies or not. At this point, she basically takes the position of, "I'm no more, and since I wasn't tasked with keeping her alive, it will just take care of itself, I suppose." But as Circe is leaving her there, a poisonous snake crawls up to Diana looking to take a bite. A still suspicious Circe says to herself, "Perhaps the gods are not so willing to leave things to chance. Can't say I care that much, but will the gods send one thing after another to kill the child until it's done? If they do, she's doomed whether I take interest or not." But as Circe is saying all of this to herself, Diana just grabs the snake by the head, peeks at it, and then chucks it, which, as you might imagine, really impresses Circe. From here, we see a little fire lizard come up to Diana and blow fire on her, but it doesn't faze her. So she just picks up the lizard and pets it before letting it go. Little moments like this cause Circe to fall in love with Diana over time, and she becomes a mother to her, raising her as her own. We then see captions of Circe's thoughts tell us, "Plenty of things tried to kill her, yes, but there was no overwhelming force of creatures bent on her destruction as I feared, and she had a quality that softened even the most treacherous beast." And I don't just mean all low creatures and demons, but all souls that drifted to her. How do you fall in love with a child? It's by raising it. Now, as the issue goes on, we see Circe and Diana have built a home for themselves in hell, which is odd to say. But what was once just an ordinary mud cave is now a cave with beds, candles, a bookcase full of books, carpets, plants, and even a makeshift kitchen. Circe effectively made it a place to raise a child where a family can live. She even teaches Diana magic, and as Diana grows, we see the home looking more and more like an actual apartment. And as the panels roll on, we see Diana continue to grow in the art of magic, and as we even see Diana capture and defeat a hellhound, the same one she saw flying at the beginning of the issue. She then asks her mother, "Where did it come from? They rarely appear on the island this time of year." Circe just responds, "I don't know." We then see narration from Circe saying, "Raising a child is how you fall in love, but letting them go is how you prove your love." As we then flash forward again back to the present, we then see Wonder Woman land on the ground telling Pegasus to guard the perimeter. She walks up to the soldier and asks, "Are you in charge here, soldier?" And this dude's completely baffled and unable to respond, so she just says, "That's a no. Where's your superior?" Chief says, "You should evacuate all civilians within a mile." He starts to contradict, but she interrupts saying, "They are not dead, they are only stunned. And they're not what's coming, they are the harbingers for things to come." Wonder Woman then makes a sound and looks behind her saying, "We're out of time. Evacuate civilians and bring your army." At this point, we see the huge upside-down pyramid birth a massive monster. Absolute Wonder Woman walks up to it saying, "You are not welcome, Harbinger Prime. This world will defend itself. I stand before you with the mythical Athena blade, forged by Hephaestus himself. It is more than capable of sending you back to your maker. Go back to wherever you came from and tell whoever you herald that you were mistaken. This world is protected." A clearly defiant Harbinger Prime then says, "But it's not," as it opens its mouth, releasing a shockwave. Wonder Woman deflects the blast as Pegasus comes to her aid, blasting fire at Harbinger head while Wonder Woman tries to use her magic on Pegasus. But the Harbinger retaliates, blasting her with the blade of fire. Harbinger Prime then tells her
here so early?
No justice?
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I must ask you about this word again. A word
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring Grandpa home.
But Cersei tells Diana,
Okay, let's go then.
With Diana responding, but I am afraid.
Dia,
So Cersei
wait.
responds, you're not afraid of a word.
What's
You're
the matter?
afraid of the change it will bring.
I
Diana
heard
responds
that you
to
were
her by
quite
saying,
reckless
"How can I know
yesterday.
a word without having
No
ever
more
heard
of
it?
that
How can
today,
it be in my
understood?
chest powerfully without
Or I'll
knowing
be
what it
very
means?"
upset
At this
with
point,
you.
Cersei tells her, say the word, Diana. Say it, and know it is what you are.
Fine.
Say it, and know it is what you are. Then as Diana looks up at her mom, grabbing her hand, she says, Amazon. We then flash forward to the present yet again, where Diana is battling Harbinger Prime, and we see her remembering when her mother told her what the word Amazon means. Remember, Cersei can't say the word, so she simply told Diana, it is who you are. You are an Amazon, but Diana has no idea what that word means, so she asks her, what was that? Cersei then explains, when Apollo first brought you to me, he banned me from ever again saying that word. Diana then asks the obvious, with her mother responding, why indeed, my darling girl. Essentially, as the conversation goes on, Diana just wonders why they don't want her to know she's an Amazon. Clearly, she's a threat to them in some way, something that will in this issue. Anyway, one woman then gets back up on her feet saying, Amazon. As Harbinger Prime says, away, warrior, you are beaten. Leave us. We must prepare the way. The world is ours now. He continues to say, I insist, which I insist. Cersei saying, it's my second child free and armed to the teeth with the greatest weapons imaginable. And watching her become everything she was meant to become. Watching her change.
That's good.
And as we watch this woman flies into the air holding a flying lasso and Diana says to the beast, I am ready. Speak of the lasso and say so now.
was a freaking troll.
They got here before us.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Which not only plays a big role in absolute power, but will undoubtedly have a part in the broader All-In stories going forward. Another important moment in Superman 18 is the return of the Batman-Superman Green Lantern hybrid that appeared in Batman Superman World's Finest issue 4 back in 2022. And up until now, most of us were just referring to that hybrid as Superbat, but this issue officially gives him the name Confusion, which isn't great, but you know, they spelt it with a K, comics and stuff. Anyway, the issue reveals through Dr. Light that Waller used her multiverse gate to find Confusion and then stationed him in the Bleed to monitor for activity while she explores various worlds building her army. Then in Wonder Woman 13, we see how Wonder Woman and Damian Wayne break into Waller's prison on Gamora Island and free all the captured depowered heroes. Damian then summons Zatanna in the Dark Roads to transport everyone to the final assault against Waller and her remaining task force of Amazos at her headquarters. There are a few other story beats and other tie-in issues that will likely come into play, but those that I just mentioned are the pieces that will lead us into Absolute Power 4. So let's crack that bad boy open and see what comes out. The issue opens at Waller's headquarters on Gamora Island, where Green Arrow is telling her that he ordered all remaining troops to return there to regroup after the massive losses they sustained during and after the battle on Themyscira, including the destruction of the Brainiac Queen and John Kent breaking free of her control. A furious Waller slaps Oliver across the mouth and tells him to watch his mouth, but Oliver collects himself and tells her, all I'm saying is, if I know my old pals, we're obviously their next and final stop. That's a problem with Brainiac Queen out of play. The multiversal gate holds our backup. Failsafe will radio its guards to fire it up and then call in the rest of Task Force 7. Our frontline soldiers have weapons from the Just League Armory, right? They can easily hold off any attacks until then, to which Waller responds, the heroes want a showdown, they have no idea what they're walking into. However, Waller herself has no idea that the Flash is down in the subbasement of her facility, battling the villains from the other universes and trying to shut down her multiversal gate. But we'll get to that in a minute. We are then taken to the Dark Roads, where
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a one-for-one exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think? And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
You stay right there!
What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
But isn't that the same one what I was dealing with, but could not he was able to open it because the sound was over the stuff?
Paimon's dizzy.
Same spot.
This day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the The Dendro Archon. The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no, he's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
He ain't here already.
There used to be a temple here?
Yep.
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to King Deshret's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now. It could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King Deshret!
What's he doing here? And his men too?
They must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me. Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He got off lightly.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted Lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look inside too.
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of King Deshret's civilization appear. 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Rahman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of his people.
saying thank you for coming, so I figure there's a lot to be said, and I'm feeling lectury, unless someone else wants to start. Superman then speaks up sternly and tells them, 1. Several heroes were badly injured but are recovering, including Animal Man. Batman then adds, 2. When the superpowers were released, now all of them returned to the original host. Some have swapped, others went God knows where, and their new owners need to be found fast, which by itself is a crazy reveal, but a furious Wonder Woman...
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside. Yet, it flows with energy inside.
Yeah! And there's so many plants! It's so pretty!
Sir Rahman.
Huh? Me?
Do you see another Ram?
Are you mocking me? What do you mean, sir?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from King Deshret's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
to me. Nice and spicy. I must leave no stone unturned. Leave it all to me.
Eat this! Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Thunderclap! Take this!
Dodge this! Don't push.
Steady as stone, as a good knight should.
This one will be frozen in time.
Lightning flash! Take this! Lightning flash! Bellowing thunder!
Boba, get them!
Leave it all to me.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
no stone unturned. I missed a spot.
Oh, so sorry. Freeze! Lightning flash!
Steady as stone. Nice and spicy. It really hurt.
Cool it!
I must leave no stone unturned.
Thunderclap! Take this!
As a good knight should. Someone needs...
Lightning flash!
Don't push your luck.
Leave it all to me. Someone needs assistance.
A sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
Named Zala Jor-El. We then see Zala and Diana embrace each other with Zala saying,
What's that?
I have to go. Diana says, I'm sorry, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And with that, Zala flies off. Meanwhile, Diana asks, was it King Pierce? Lois replies, I haven't confirmed, but he's the obvious suspect. Lois continues to say if the prophecy was correct, this will eventually lead to a war against the gods, which Diana
These are King Deshret runes.
They left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient King Deshret script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Is this it?
Analyzing.
I'm not gonna kill you because I'm not lying to myself. We're not what you think we are. We're not killers. Meanwhile,
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from King Deshret's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over and project it for everyone to see.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
But she just looks at him saying, it tickles, and then flies away as King Pierce mourns his son's death. Issue 3 starts off with the young Jimmy Olsen looking in the telescope, seeing a green star crashing to Earth, with Olsen saying, Paige, fetch me a Robin, as he says, a star...
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Ruka Devata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that The spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No, impossible.
Greater Lord
See?
Rukkhadevata.
You saw that you couldn't accept it. Wow.
So the former Dendro Archon and King Deshret were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? He became so tiny in the end.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt King Deshret's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refuse to believe any of the rumors. King Deshret's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, it was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor.
Wow.
Who stabbed us in the back in our moment of
You
crisis.
saw legit the truth just now.
Just
and
like
he
us humans.
refused
Fighting,
to accept it,
feuding,
Cause
double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
this idiot.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and heart, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge, suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
You idiot is the one who... Okay.
Dia, tell me,
That
my
dumb
Aramites
fix
and I,
everything.
what are we even fighting for?
Exactly, you aren't supposed to be.
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. Thanks.
Oh.
I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've done. You'll get everything you're asking for. But please, give me some time. After everything that's happened here today, somehow I need to explain it to the others.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's located. Make a note of it.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow, I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you too.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
That must have been rough. But he seems to have figured things out now.
Ramon's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep. We'll need all our energy tomorrow.
It looks like that's your ancestor.
Sino, we're leaving!
That's Sino ancestor.
Stop yelling.
go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh. New trophy, and the mop is a little bit wider than before. Cheers.
Rahman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please! Swift and painless!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like they've seen a ghost!
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis, and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Al-Haytham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god. When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata had indeed passed away. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis has been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
Alright, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Rahman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
Time to work! Work time!
Frostbite. Dodge this!
Put your back into it!
Here!
Time to fulfill my duty. It isn't time for a break yet.
Steady as stone.
Prepare yourself.
I must bellowing thunder! Take this!
No backing off. How can this be? There's no excuse for slacking. My work.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Bubba, get them!
Take this! Thunderclap!
Take cover. Prepare yourself.
Lightning flash!
Steady as stone. As a dutiful maid would.
I must collect myself. This moment will be frozen in time.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Nice and spicy!
What? Come on.
Are you here to play with me?
Right hand into the fire!
The more, the merrier. Leave it up to me. Over here.
Dodge this!
Cool it. Now you've got me worked up.
Freeze!
Steady as stone.
Nice and spicy!
As a good night should. Hike! Someone needs assistance. Leave it all to me. I'll catch up. The more, the merrier. Let me amuse Steady as stone. The more, the merrier. Someone needs assistance. Leave it all to me. Someone
Someone needs assistance. I must leave no stone unturned.
You need to hurry up. Roast and fry.
Oh, so sorry.
You need to hurry up.
Cool it.
This one's well done. You need to hurry up.
Lightning flash!
Roast and fry. You need to
Steady
hurry
as
up.
stone.
This one's well done. Roast and fry. You need to hurry up.
Dodge this!
You need to hurry up. This one's well done.
I must leave no stone unturned.
You need to hurry up.
Freeze!
You need to hurry up.
Take this! Following thunder! Frostbite!
You need to hurry up.
Steady as stone.
This one's well done. You need to hurry up. Roast and fry.
Dodge this! Lightning flash!
Hurry up. This
Time
one's
to
well
clean up.
done. You need to hurry up.
I'll catch up.
Roast and fry. You need to hurry up. This one's well done. You need to hurry up.
Is this an answer from this world?
say get. This shit is gonna be up to 800. This one is gonna be 360.
Another test subject. I got killed.
You're toast!
Have a little taste.
Cool it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Take this!
Picked the wrong test subject.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
The atmosphere is so heavy.
Advisors of the 3 kingdoms, but you've had the greatest mind in the world locked in your dungeons. Also ask for his counsel. We then see Detective Chim is released and agrees with the plan, saying this is the best course of action. As the queens approve this plan, we see that Waller's men...
Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about?
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh! Paimon's so coming with you!
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make...
It's time to make up.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
Crush the sages, and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
Cautionary tale as she chops off his head. She then walks over to Protex, who is being subdued by Bruce, as she says, whereas you, Protex, your team will be forgotten, erased. Queen El then stops Wonder Woman from killing him, saying, there has been enough vengeance, enough death. We will not wipe out a species, no matter how malevolent the leaders. Protex says, you are weak, Queen Laura, but Clark responds by saying, mercy is not weak. I'm surprised you howled out yourself when you see that. You are so afraid of others that you seek to control them, wipe them out. So instead of killing them,
you can do or not. Level is more higher. And yeah, this event be more easier.
Proper send-up from the Spina with love. Umbrella warfare, I guess. Ha! Nah! Yeah. Nah! Nah! Ha-ha! Nah! Attack! That
Heal thyself!
As you wish, main Fräulein.
I summon thee! Insubordination! This one's got your name on it! Umbrella warfare, I guess! Sorry, partner.
Lightning splash!
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Bellowing thunder!
Watch out! Hiya!
Basically asks him to come back with him and be part of rebuilding humanity. But the Hulk responds by saying, why? So that humanity can regenerate, thrive, and blow itself up again? And as MODOK attempts to answer by saying, one would hope...
This one's got your name on it! A proper send-off! From the Spina with love. You're toast! Nice and spicy!
Rest for the wicked.
Feeling lucky? Spell of warfare, I guess. Fire! Well, with rocks. Coming at ya! Hiya!
Lightning flash! Thunderclap!
Feeling lucky? Fire! Well, with rocks. Watch out!
Starts following the boy, a bunch of guns and lights start pointing at him with someone yelling, "Halt!" To which the Hulk says, "Oh, perfect. Okay, wait, hold on. I have an itch right there. It's driving me nuts. Focus your fire there. That'd be great, thanks." As he turns around, showing them his back. Essentially, he was low-key being like, "Hey guys, do you really think gunfire is gonna hurt me?" As he makes this joke, a voice says, believe it is. Maestro then comes out from behind the curtain saying, "Banner, it's been ages," revealing the Maestro is Marvel's Hercules as the issue ends. But there's a 3-page backup story that's part 1 of 3.
Time to meet up with Candace. Hopefully Dory got the intel we asked for. Candace, you're here! Have you seen Dory? Wow, she sure didn't waste any time. So, how'd it go? Did she tell you where the gem came from? So there's two? So where's the other gem now? You think it's related to the other gem? Sounds like we need to investigate the site of the robbery. But what about the preparations for the Sub-Zero's festival? Hey, we're in this together. There's no way we're...
Hercules then escorts Anne to his chambers.
Wow, we really are in the middle of nowhere.
Around the palace. Hulk then asks the minister if he can see the maestro's throne room, but says, before we go, I have to get something I left outside. Back in Hercules' bedroom, Hercules tells Anne, let us get better acquainted. And she responds saying, I was thinking exactly the same thing, while taking off her bra. And right as the two of them are going to get it on, Anne turns into gas, revealing herself to be Vapor. She then tells Hercules, don't you remember the UFOs? It kept me out of the game for a while, but now I'm back. It's arson, main ingredient of arsenic, as she makes her way through his nostrils and mouth. At which point, Hercules falls to his knees as his eyes start to bleed, and he dies by his bed. Vapor then says, that was easier than I could have. But before she can finish her sentence, the Hulk kicks the doors down and freezes her with a gun he found laying around at Alchemax. Hulk then says, there we go, that's better. A vast improvement. But it still needs something, as he punches her, shattering her into 1,000 pieces. He then tells the Maestro's guards to take all these pieces and bury them individually all over the kingdom, out in the plains. Make sure they can never reintegrate. He then walks over to Hercules saying, sorry, didn't really have a choice. Nobody beats the Hulk. Nobody. He then walks out while saying, get him out of here. And this, my friends, brings us to the 5th and final issue.
We made sure to pick a remote path, and we still got ambushed. Ah! Who's there?
Guardian?
Calm down. I think we're safe. Pretty sure stealing's not in a Guardian's job description.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind him. Some of our guys are still on edge after the robbery this morning. The robbery took everything from us. We can't just let that slide, so I'm taking my men to confront them and get back some of what they stole at least.
Hazardous materials.
For the love of... You can't just say that. Listen, it was just some firecrackers and fireworks. That's all.
But that's what the crates had written on them.
They're fireworks. What else would they be labeled as? Perishable goods? Ugh, just ignore him, please. As you can see, some of my guys aren't particularly bright. If the guards at Caravan Rebot hear of this, we'll get questioned all over again. To some tribal camps in the desert. Everybody's looking to celebrate with the Sub-Zero's festival coming up. Even small businesses like us got a share of the orders. Mostly the long-distance transports that no one else wanted. Well, it was like this. We had just set out on the remote path when...
A web of thorns and vines suddenly blocked our way!
Vines?
What? No! Why would there be vines in the desert? Our wagon got stuck in the sand. That's what happened. I'm sure it was a trap. After that...
bombs started falling from the sky!
Ugh, just stop talking. That robbery messed you up more than I thought. Don't listen to his nonsense. He's just... Anyway, as we were trapped, the bandits started firing. All the chaos, they ran off with the rest of our stuff. No, we couldn't really see anything. There was sand everywhere, and we were more preoccupied with getting out alive. Although, I did notice that one of the bandits had this green stone. Yes, exactly like that! I just couldn't make sense of it. If you already have something that valuable, why go after our cheap firecrackers? Well, all right. We'll just take another quick break before we head over.
So one group of bad guys attacked the other? The Sub-Zero's festival doesn't get ruined. Things are turning out to be more complicated than we expected.
Oh? And what things would those be? Sounds like something the General Mahamatra should know about.
Sino, what are you doing here?
I'm here on business, investigating an unusual robbery case.
Wait, could it be the same one we've been investigating?
Just doing my duty. By the way, I brought something that I think might help with the investigation. Here, have some Parisara pudding.
Okay, thanks.
Well, find any clues? They say the proof is in the pudding, after all.
Did you have to tell that joke when Paimon had a mouthful of pudding? She almost choked.
Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Tell me more about this robbery case of yours. I see. So you and Candace already did a preliminary investigation.
Yep, Candace can tell you the rest when she gets back. That merchant group was really suspicious.
All right. You can leave the rest to me. On a different note, do you have any other plans for the day?
Oh, we'll probably head back with Candace. We're meeting up with every super awesome dinner we're planning tonight.
Strange. Sounds like you're hiding something from me.
What? No, not at all. We'd never do anything like that.
This game I like it.
Do you know why henna berries can't tell a lie?
Why?
Because they're always going to be red straight through. You think so? Then tell me your secret.
Seriously, there's no secret.
Is that so? You're not afraid of ending up like the bass in the lake?
What?
Because they always wind up eating their worms.
Yeah, who knew being interrogated by the General Mahamatra was this miserable? Candace! Thank goodness you're back. Please save us.
Nice to see you, Candace. The Traveler already updated me on everything, so you can leave the robbery case to me. But when I asked about their plans this afternoon, they started dodging my questions.
Candace! It's supposed to be a secret! What? Why didn't you say something sooner?
Well, once you told me about the case, I realized I might not make it this afternoon. I was going to ask you to tell the group, but you decided to end the conversation.
Seriously? So we had to listen to a couple of Sino jokes for nothing?
Well, with that resolved, could you tell the group I've got a case? Oh, and these are the items I was supposed to get. Could you take them back with you?
Sure thing, we've got this.
I would hope so. I just handed it to you.
Oh, enough already! from all those terrible jokes. That explains why he had all those jokes ready to go even while on the job. Paimon will never understand how he doesn't give himself a cringe attack. Candace? Did you have another vision? Dangerous? Maybe they're the bandits from earlier. Then let's sneak up on them. If they're the ones looking to cause trouble during the Sub-Zero's festival, we should catch them in the act. Hey, did you hear that? Sounds like they're talking about something dangerous.
I really hope this girl though.
Wait, it's you two? Oh, what kind of terrible plan were you talking about just now? Something about explosions and the flower carriage?
Who do you have the character?
Okay, so that's what all this was about? Well, about that. Maybe you could dumb that down a little. The past? Well, it does explain what we saw. Kaveh, if Marek is missing, what's that thing coming toward us right now? Candace, something on your mind? Huh. Yep, bye-bye!
Again?
Wait, now that you mention it, why aren't we meeting in the city? Wouldn't that be more convenient?
I thought she was captured. What the fish?
too close.
Wow, that 30 goes deep.
Paimion's heart can't take much more of this.
That's the difference between the desert and the sea.
Has everyone arrived?
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's join them!
Please, wait a moment. Before attending the meeting, I hope you can promise me one thing.
What do you need?
Promise me that you won't commit to anything too reckless.
What do you think?
Okay.
Everyone's here so early! But why isn't anybody talking?
We already discussed things a bit.
Hey, where have you been? I've missed you too.
Are you ready?
Very well.
Are you sure this is gonna work?
Which is exactly where World War M begins. Issue 1 opens up with Abomination as a general in Moscow.
I gotta admit, it's bold. Telling me impressed.
It's worth a try.
The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to the next point.
You're making
Abomination
You're finally done.
harbor where he sits and stares at the water.
I have some other stuff to take care of. Catch you all later.
Something in the water coming up to him as he says, "What is
Come
it
on,
now?"
don't give me that face. I know what you're going to say. I'll be careful.
That's what I wanted to hear. Take care.
The abomination eventually throwing a Ferris wheel at them before taking one of their guns and pointing it at their boss.
Well, traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
They're supposed to capture the Hulk. You are not the
You
Hulk.
can tell?
No idea who you are.
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based on your reaction, things must have gone quite well.
It allows you to breathe underwater and come with me. Abomination asks, "Why should I?" Namor replies, "Are you doing anything else?" Elsewhere, with the Maestro returning to his
Paimon's a
palace
little
in
worried.
Cecilia, where the minister
Hopefully
asks,
nothing will
"Can I
go
say
wrong."
this that Dr. Doom is disposed of?" Maestro
To be
replies, "He
honest,
got away."
I feel the
Needless to say,
same.
he doesn't care as long as he brought some
But
other
you're
heroes
already
with
some
him.
of the most
When
capable
Kieran
people I
takes
know.
Dr. Doom, who we see
So
is
you have my
very
trust.
with a broken arm and broken legs, being wheelchair bound, having to be pushed around by his
Candace gave us a
assistant. But hurt or not,
compliment.
this is Dr. Doom.
Your
He was
deeds
planning on
speak
a
for
way to
themselves.
take down Maestro. He even contacts Rick Jones for help, but sees that Jones is
Candace,
senile and is
we
giving
stayed
him
behind to tell you
Then brought
that,
back to the
although
Dystopia,
you
where
won't be
we see
coming
the
with us,
Minister working
we'll
with
be
the
sure to
Maestro,
remember your
secretly
words.
plotting against him with Namor. We also learn
I'm
that
very
the
glad to
Universe
hear
is
that.
and the one he's currently in is specifically called
I've
Pacifica,
said the
where
same
he
thing
is
to
the
everyone here
Abomination.
today,
Namor then
as
takes
I
Abomination
said to
along
you
with
when
his
you
Maestro
arrived.
to a room to show them what
Your
he's going to
safety
take
is
down
the most
Maestro. He
important
releases a
thing.
secret weapon on Maestro, which we soon find out is
Only
the
when you're
original
safe
Human
can the
Torch,
plan be
synthetic human,
successful.
Jim Hammond.
So
The Human Torch
please,
then starts blasting
take
Maestro with
care.
fire, but when he sees it's not working, he tells Maestro, "Let's see how you survive the Nova Flame," which he unleashes on Maestro, then leaves back to Pacifica thinking he's killed the Maestro, but he hasn't, as he gets back up saying he's headed to the ocean. Okay then, round 2. This brings us to issue 2. Issue 2 opens up in the depths of the Pacific Ocean, where the Human Torch returns to Pacifica thinking he's defeated Maestro, unaware he's actually following him, leading Maestro to Namor City.
You're welcome. And thank you for taking my advice. Good luck. With everything. I'll be here in the village praying for you.
Sounds good. I'll go make some preparations.
Okay. Have you finished saying your goodbyes?
Yeah! Also, Candace told everyone to be careful.
Yes, she did. But I think my point also bears repeating. Our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. We must go beyond that and fully commit ourselves to it. I hope this is clear to you.
Huh? Shouldn't you be saying something more cheerful to boost our morale right now?
Didn't we already do that during the meeting?
You can never have enough words of encouragement.
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue to remind you of the seriousness of our situation. We all have our jobs to do, after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of logistics while others will fight on the front lines.
Speaking of the front lines, you don't look anything like a soldier.
Of course. Compared to the mercenaries, I'm merely a feeble scholar. But the advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place and offer my strategic insight. Just think about that mercenary who lost his mind. Mercenary groups are facing constant danger every single day.
Well, being a scholar is also a high-risk occupation, and you are a scholar.
I'm not like the rest of them. Even among members of the same species, some will exhibit far more potential than others.
This guy. Hyman still remembers when those mercenaries in Port Ormos called you a lunatic.
All intellectuals are lunatics in the eyes of fools. I'll take that as a compliment. That reminds me. Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins? It mentioned You have a good memory. Forbidden knowledge has the power to drive people insane, but this fact has never been shared with the public. Even I, who has worked in the academia for some time, was never once informed of this. I think those mad scholars and mercenaries we encountered may have all fallen victim to the corrupting qualities of forbidden knowledge, but the academia has always held a different view. They have always believed that symptoms of madness are a side effect of human contact with divine knowledge as mere mortals. Come to think of it, perhaps the academia has also never understood the true nature of forbidden knowledge, and thus always approached the issue from the wrong direction. The Withering, Elazar, and the sandstorms. Don't you think what is happening right now across Sumeru is rather similar to the forbidden knowledge pollution that occurred in the desert thousands of years ago?
But Paimon thought that Irminsul's disease is what caused the withering and the sandstorms. At least, that's what Tainari told us. Wait a second. Could it be that...
Ah, you've connected the dots. The cause of Irminsul's illness may precisely be the pollution from forbidden knowledge.
But if that's the case, what should we do? This is huge!
Wait. Why do you think Lesser Lord Kusanali would have a solution to this situation?
You mean, it's related to the scene you saw when you passed out in the Avidia forest? That whole... the world forget me thing?
In that case, it's imperative that we rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali. Only to make sure we're still on track, I would like to check on the state of some of our preparatory work.
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base. They're here.
Huh? What are they doing here?
I gave them some technical work to do.
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
How's the work going?
Ah, yes! We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for use, while the others are still under repair.
Aren't those devices for can knowledge extraction? What are you doing with those?
Look here.
Huh? More can knowledge? Are you going to put more weird stuff into his head again?
What's that look on your face? Are you scared?
Paimon's a little scared, but very...
That's an interesting response. Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet. As I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And according to the plan we just came up with, Traveler, I want you to record something into this capsule. Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord Kusanali? Good. Conviction is the most important part of all of this. Now, please get ready and put on this device.
You want us to record our conviction into the knowledge capsule?
Yes. I understand, but trust me, Paimon, this is something we have to do. It's best if you can do as I say, because to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first. Although it may feel like a trick, self-encouragement may be the most important tool we have.
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. As a result, we have changed Sumeru's entire political landscape. Everything went without a hitch, and everyone recognizes and praises our achievements. Now, open your eyes. Here.
What's this?
Read it out loud. It's done.
Is your head okay? Does anything hurt?
It's just a recording. There should be no negative effects.
But what was the point of doing this?
And that's perfectly fine. In any case, these capsules aren't meant to be used by you.
Huh?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You may find it hard to believe, but for those people, everything the Akasha transmits to them is nothing short of absolute truth. Imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha since the day you were born, and this device has always supported you during times of need. After all that time, what do you think you'd become?
A fool? A machine?
A slave to orders. And that's why rules are so important. In addition, those who understand the rules can delineate boundaries and identify gray areas.
But why would you need to identify the gray areas?
You could say that those kinds of ambiguous zones can be very interesting. One might even say they're advantageous in the right hands.
Things you're interested in are really out there. Are all Sumeru scholars like this?
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I'm going to take those two to work on some small projects. You can head to Caravan Rebot and start preparing for the next step.
Small projects?
We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make a few modifications.
What's up, my fellow? This past weekend, fans from all around the world came together to celebrate Batman Day 2024. But more important,
Hi everyone, so God is saying that it is about to come. It's not going to look the same anymore. It's not going to be surviving it. There's certain things that are not going to be surviving these waves that are about to come in your life in the mighty name of Jesus. There's going to be a great transformation in the mighty name of Jesus. So we have this other lawn of grass here at home, and during the winter months, this grass dried, became so dry, it became brown because we're not really watering it often and there was no rain. And even if we did try to water it, it just couldn't turn green as fast. But now when the rains came back, just of rain, you can see that now the color has changed. Now it's like it's nice. Now it has become nice. Now it's growing again. So God is also saying in your life, when His rain comes, it's only just going to take a moment. The work that you've been doing.
how they thought they could wound you, rip your heart open, watch the life drain out of you, and walk away without a scratch. They thought they were so clever, so untouchable. But here's the punchline. He walks away from the mess they made forever. You see, their cruelty...
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties. I've given it a lot of thought. And in the end, I still can't agree to it.
But it's still the best plan we have. As a former Matra, you of all people should be able to see the bigger picture and recognize the innate advantages of our plan.
I did. And that's how I saw the danger behind these so-called advantages.
Huh? Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just in time. Why don't you help me persuade Sino? He's turned against our plan.
We agreed to work out a plan at the meeting. As mercenaries, you're familiar with the local environment, so you'll take care of the specifics. But then, you went to Al-Haytham for suggestions. Had I known Al Haytham would give you those kinds of suggestions, I would not have agreed to the plan.
Look, you already know that we're all on the same side here, don't you?
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make sacrifices if they deem the situation to be sufficiently dire. I'm sorry, but as things stand, I can't accept your principles.
Seems you really do understand the ways of the desert.
Traveler, Paimon, this is also something you should know. Rahman's plan is to have me work with the Caravan Reebok guards in my capacity as a Matra. We will arrest the mercenaries and escort them into Sumeru City.
Wait! How can we work with the guards?
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? Caravan Reebok would never let so many unregistered members of the Eremites enter Sumeru City. My plan will clear us of any possible suspicion, and also let us enter the city as a big group. There is no better way.
That also sounds like something Al Haytham told you. Am I right?
Doesn't Al Haytham know how dangerous this plan is?
2004, bro.
Of course he does. He told me there is no perfect plan, but this can get the job done. He also said that with the help of Sino and the Traveler, our chance of success would increase significantly. I never blindly trust anyone, and I've always had a good eye for people. I think he made a number of valid points. It's my own choice to trust you.
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. But I can't guarantee that kind of discipline from the guards. To make the whole thing more convincing, you'll need to resist to some degree. Casualties are inevitable once push comes to shove. I'm okay with the deaths of enemies. But now that we're allies, I'm against the meaningless loss of our own.
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life, and I can say that people like you are hard to come by.
I've always treated my allies with honesty and respect. They have the right to know important things like this.
Now you're making this hard for me.
Hey, is there something we can do to help?
I knew you would say that.
We can help fight some of the mercenaries, which should reduce the number of times you'll have to struggle directly with the guards. That should help at least a little bit.
Sino, on behalf of my people, I thank you for your kindness. But this is a mission we cannot turn our backs on. We strongly value the lives of our friends, but the goal we are about to achieve is even more important. We have no fear of casualties, because we crave the spoils of victory. So please, lend us your support. We will show you the determination of us desert dwellers.
Well, now that you've put it that way, I can no longer refuse. But remember, you need to follow the plan and not do anything reckless. Candace made it very clear that we can only achieve our goals if we can ensure our safety. Since you and I both recognize the significance of this operation, there should be no more animosity between the followers of the Dendroarchon and those of King Deshret. Everyone's life is equally important.
Okay, you...
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there. Guards!
General Mahamatra! To what do we owe the honor?
Keep your voice down. This is a secret operation. I'm going to arrest a large criminal gang near this location. According to the Academia's Guide and Regulations on Secret Operations, I have the right to ask for the cooperation of Caravan Rebot.
Ah, of course, of course. Mahamatra Sino's order is the Academia's order. Just let us know what you need. But who exactly are you planning to arrest, and how many people are you expecting? Depending on the scale of this operation, we may need to report it to our superiors.
They're a squad of Eremites whose number is comparable to Ain el Akhmar in Port Ormos. They're involved in the theft and resale of supplies from the Academia.
As many as Ain el Akhmar? This should definitely be classified as a joint operation.
Then I suggest that you report this to your superiors as soon as possible, and treat it as a top priority desert operation. I will need personnel.
Got it. Please wait a moment. I'll contact them immediately.
Because this is work. Because I trust you.
Paimon can't believe you're still in the mood to chat. This whole thing has Paimon scared stiff! Aren't you even a little worried? What if these guards already know that you have betrayed the Academia and are no longer their General Mahamatra? Even if that guard doesn't know, their superiors might, right?
We discussed this, remember?
The Caravan Rebot operation is of great importance. But don't worry, the guards there shouldn't know that Sino has stepped down.
How can you be so sure?
First, the other Matra still don't know why Sino has left, which proves that the Academia has been covering up the matter.
Second, this is a crucial moment for the Academia's God creation plan. If something were to happen to the General Mahamatra, it's bound to attract a lot of unwanted attention. No matter how you look at it, they don't seem interested in sharing the news of Sino's departure.
A reasonable inference. I agree.
Which brings us to our next issue. I'm sure some of you have been wondering if the prediction function of the Akasha will affect our operation.
The Akasha is still in operation, so I must remain on high alert. Actually, considering the power of the Akasha, it's quite strange that it hasn't already tried to interfere with my actions.
I've given that a lot of thought. For now, I don't think you'll need to worry. If you remember, when you first came to Aru Village, all your actions and routes were predicted by the Akasha. It even gave that information to those who kidnapped the village keepers. But things like that never happened again after we met up with the Traveler.
That's true. But why?
Look at it from a different angle. Why do you think the Akasha will predict your actions?
Because my personal data has been entered into the Akasha.
That's true, but the key to this question is, how well can the Akasha make predictions about a person? Haven't you ever thought about it? Just how can it do this in the first place?
Because the Akasha controls the entirety of Sumeru.
The Academia firmly believes that all human actions can be explained through logic.
By sorting and analyzing entered data, the Akasha can derive behavioral logic and predict the actions of those who fit an existing logic model. However, at the risk of sounding like an advocate for fallacies, can everyone truly be considered logical at all times? Emotions are part of our behavioral logic, but can you guarantee that every experience of the same joy or pain would be equally intense? How can our feelings and opinions be predictable down to the letter in every single instance? Sino, in the past, you've always worked alone. In the absence of another person who could sway you or your thoughts, the Akasha could produce predictions that were similar to your real-life behavioral principles. Decisive and principled, you were used to solving problems alone. That's why the Akasha could figure you out. But now, you've joined a team. And I believe the Akasha hasn't yet figured out the full composition of it. Our thoughts and logic have intermingled and weaved themselves together to become a complicated, chaotic mess. Any one of us could potentially disagree with another. The Akasha lacks data on these interactions, and it's impossible for it to predict your actions in the future based on your decisions in the past. After all, there's probably a limit to just how much we can be modeled or controlled by data. So, in my opinion, you're probably safe for now.
Makes sense to me. I agree. The Akasha is not alive, and I don't think we can be completely controlled by something without a mind of its own.
Is that so? I guess there are things that even the Akasha cannot calculate, and people will not be forever trapped by the past.
I'm so glad that this is settled.
Next time, pay attention during our meetings.
Will do.
Just remember to stay vigilant.
Footsteps!
General Mahamatra, we were not expecting your presence here.
I'm the security officer of the Great Red Sand District. My name is Luxembourg.
This is my assistant, the Traveler. He will be working with me. The construct next to him is for his work.
Beep! Construct, beep!
What a great honor to meet you. Your golden hair is as bright as the sun. And, is this the latest technology from the Academia?
Have you made a decision regarding the matter I mentioned to your subordinate?
It seems to be a dire situation, so of course you will have our full cooperation. To be perfectly honest, I've always longed to go on a mission with someone as well known as yourself.
There's no need for flattery.
Yes, sir.
Take your most elite platoon and follow me to the eastern side of the district. We will carry out the operation there.
Understood.
Map.
Hurry, bring the map!
In 2 days, we will engage Rahman's Eremites and capture all of them. Any questions about the time or location?
None at all, sir.
Good. See you then.
Yes, sir.
Maybe hanging around the General Mahamatra isn't so bad after all. Everyone's so respectful towards us.
This is all due to the absolute authority of the Academia. And now, we're going to strike back against that massive pillar of power. Get ready. We will move out in 2 days.
Well, we will be back on later. As we say, 2 days. So let's see if we can get another character.